Yep. Okay. Let's just go ahead and start. Oh man, fuck that. See, here goes the me trying to actually come up with something to say at the beginning of the video, which who gives a fuck, right? So I'm gonna try to be concise and not like go all over in my thoughts. So this video will serve as an update. There we go. It will serve as an update for the channel, for where I am in life, and this whole shebang. And of course, I'm gonna attempt to express this, but this shit, it takes cooking. It takes, I have so many thoughts, so many directions that I want to go. And I thought really hard about actually scripting this shit. I really thought hard about that yesterday. I'm like, you know what if you actually script this, practice it, and make sure you deliver to you use it, not users. Make sure you deliver to your viewers, your followers, a value add, something that is actually that they could use, right? Uh, but then every time I think about that, first of all, for me, it is going to add a cognitive load, right? I have to think about the shit, script it, practice it, then come on camera and deliver it. That's too much. And if I were to introduce that element, I simply won't do the fucking video. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna kill this right here. All right, so we switch this shit to actually sitting. I always have this thing on my mind when I get out of the house of how a video is gonna go or how a live is gonna go. And all the time I tend to actually think that I can just hold the the phone and just walk around because I like that, right? But then you can only really do that in certain settings. So currently I'm walking on the sand, and when I was coming, like it's mainly the dry sand. I'm not out there. It's kind of high tide a little bit, and I don't want to fucking drop the phone. I just got this shit, and gee, if this shit drops, man, like I'm gonna feel that my life is over. But so I'm gonna do my best to not go on tangents everywhere and follow the thousand thoughts that are going through my mind. But this video is serving as an update for where things stand. I have not gotten on TikTok mainly for more than 6 months. And yesterday was the first time that I've actually done a live, which felt absolutely great, right? So where do I want to go with it? So I'm at Beach Shack number 5. That's for people who know about Beach Shack 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. For those that don't know, the gist of it is 3 years ago, I decided to leave my entire life as it was, like literally physically and mentally, and move to a place where I can live by the beach and be really close to a surf break. And it started with the premise of, instead of me thinking, I want to go to Bali, I want to go to Colombia, I want to go to Thailand, right? I want to go to. Uh, you get the drift, like whatever people are doing on YouTube, right? Like the hot destinations. Instead of me thinking about all that shit, why don't I start super, super small? Why don't I try to get a beach shack somewhere just off, like outside the city? Simple. And it's a place where I can be by myself and have the space to be able to work on myself without all the expectations of everyone around me, of what they expect me to do or who they expect me to be. So it's a long ass story, but that's the gist of it. I left my life completely and started a new one that is based around individuality, me really being in tune with who I am, whatever the fuck that means, because I still haven't figured that shit out. Right? So then I went on this journey, surf break to surf break, Airbnb to Airbnb, for about 3 years. And fortunately, I had some basic means to do that. I had a fucking job. I used to hustle Airbnbs. So I would rent an Airbnb and re-rent it to someone else. That was going great. So both of those things, the job and the Airbnbs, I was able to maintain this lifestyle of going surf break to surf break and surfing some of the best fucking waves of my life and having some of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And then the shit hit the fan and everything went away. I lost my job, got fired, and a sequence of events made it that I've lost the Airbnbs, right? And I was back to zero. And after 3 years of living as an individual, really setting out to live on my own and to chart a new life for myself that has nothing to do with all the roles and expectations that I grew up with. And I've succeeded in doing that for 3 years. And everything went to shit. And now I'm back again, living with family and being dependent on them because I'm broke. And there's a really tremendous irony to this entire journey. So I'll go on this whole journey for 3 years, right? And that's it. Finally, I got my own shit. I got my own place. I got my own money. I control my entire fucking schedule. No one is telling me what to do. Well, the my boss, but that's a different story, right? But you get the gist. Like I completely transformed my lifestyle, and now I'm back to square one, completely. Which I call this place Beach Shack 5. So during these 3 years, I've moved first into Beach Shack 1, right? It was a great surf break, great surfing community, spent time there. Then moved on and found Beach Shack 2 at a different town. Did the same shit again, surf experiences. Then went to Shack 3 in another town and have done that shit all over again. Then I went to Shack 4 and redone the whole thing. So this 3 years. And now I'm at Shack 5. And I call this Shack 5 because I still have the elements that help me at least partially live this lifestyle. So Shack 5 is my parents' house. And it's the house that I grew up in, at least during the summertime. So I'm very grateful it is a house that is on the beach, right? So I'm still able to surf. Granted, the waves here are not as incredible as where I was, but nevertheless, it's about appreciating just being in the water, no matter how small the wave is, and just being connected with the ocean. That's what it's about for me. That is. This is a very subjective experience, right? So now I'm back to square one, living with family and being dependent on them. And I can see my entire life in front of me as a spectacular failure. And I'm around, everybody around me does see me that way as a spectacular failure. And for those of you that know me, I actually have earned that. I have failed spectacularly. I can't find the word. But I have failed in a spectacular manner over and over and over and over. And as I am right now in my childhood town where I grew up, right? And at least the summertime, right? So as I'm here, as you can see, besides the mental bullshit that I'm going through, this place is fucking incredible. I mean, it's magic, right? But so I'm sitting here looking at my life as an entire failure. I'm literally back living in my childhood home, broke. Nothing I have done in life has come out to anything, right? And to add on top of that, I've spent the past 3 years living a life that would seem very irresponsible to many, but I still held a job and I was actually performing excellent at that job. And that is not why I got fired. It wasn't my performance, man. But that's a whole nother story, right? So as I sit there looking at the fucking abyss and trying to fucking figure out my life and also figure out, looking at these 3 years, what the fuck have you done? I spent 3 years chasing the surf and you're right back where you were. Had you used the opportunities you had to actually achieve some sort of financial resilience or financial freedom, whatever, whatever that looks like, you fucked off the entire time surfing and kicking it and partying and just having fucking experiences. And look at you now, right? So I've been in that mindset for the past like almost 9 months, close to 10 right now that I have been here. So for 10 months, I've been thinking this shit. Then the holidays show up. Then the holidays show up, right? Man, I had to jump in the water. It was getting too hot. Now I'm gonna make sure my hair is fabulous. It already is, man. So the holidays came, right? And you all know, or you may not, what the holidays bring in terms of emotions, how you're looked at by your peers, your family, all that repressed shit, that beef that you had with this one and that one, and then people taking jabs at you. For those that get that feeling on the holidays, they know what the fuck I'm talking about. For those who don't, Well, that's not what this is for. That's not. So the holidays came, and with it came intense traffic at the house. And that is one of the most incredible destabilizing things for me is crowds. And I don't mean like crowds like in a New York City street. That's fine. No one gives a fuck about it. I'm talking about crowds where everybody's scanning you and you are literally the scapegoat. You are literally the target, the easiest target and the most uh, visible target because of how weird your life is and your views and the whole bullshit, right? So you're surrounded by people who are in conflict, whether consciously, subconsciously, whether they say it or they don't say it, they're in conflict with your individuality. Because to them, that is the problem, is that you are an individual and you're not adhering to what the group wants or what the group has to say or where the group is going. You are in conflict with that. And you don't have to do anything but exist, right? For everybody to just be uncomfortable with you and be coming at you, trying to correct you, trying to fix your life, all of that. And so this was about a good 10 days of this, right? Family, intense traffic, people in and out. Everybody's asking you the same shit in a different way, right? Everybody wants to know what the fuck are you doing with your life? What are you gonna do next? What have you been doing? How come you came back? What happened when you were away? The whole shit, right? And you gotta repeat that with each and every person, which for the first time in my life, I didn't engage in any of it. And it's not something that I've done consciously. I literally realized that at the end of the 10 days, when everybody left and I was back alone at the house, I realized that I've survived the entire 10 days without the emotional exhaustion and toll that it would have taken on me in other years, as in my entire fucking life. Literally. And when I look back on those 10 days, I realize that I have navigated it with just incredible pose and serenity and just flow. Like everybody's energy was coming at me, but it was no longer penetrating the way it did my entire life. And that's when the shit clicked, man. That's when I realized what the fuck I have been doing the past 3 years. And what the fuck did it mean for me to go on this individual journey where I live by myself, have my own schedule, live town to town, and being connected with the ocean? What the fuck does all of this mean? It means that during those 3 years, I have picked up a transformational tool that allowed me to really face everybody around me and be 100% okay with who the fuck I am, whatever that means. But I'm good in my own skin. I was never able to do that my entire life. But I pulled it this holidays. And then it hit me, man. That's what I have gathered these past 3 years. And that's what an individual life will give you. It's an armor. It's not something you can see. Like outwardly, my life hasn't fucking changed. Matter of fact, It has dived to fucking zero. I'm back broke. I don't have no money. I can't get a job. Bunch of shit, right? Interviewed like six, seven times with companies, right? Interviews went great, and just silence. They don't even tell you no, right? But there's a whole other story, man, with AI and automation and that whole deal. So that's not neither here nor there. That's another topic. The point of it is, I was able to finally be okay in my own skin in the most scary environment for me. Being with family is scary for me. That is, it is the scariest environment, and it is the environment that is most taxing on me emotionally, extremely difficult. But I was able to navigate the entire 10 days. When I look back at it, I almost did not fucking recognize that guy. Where did that shit come from? Not one negative argument. Not one. And there was so many opportunities where people were tested. So many of them. And I literally leaned in and went with the flow of whatever it is that they were trying uh, to do or say. I just flowed with it. And I realized at the end of the 10 days, man, I'm a totally different human being. My life outwardly to the outside looking in is like, man, this guy's a fuck up, right? But inwardly, I have traveled motherfucking light years. And with that, I'm gonna wrap it up right here, man. This was your boy MJ, still on the journey back to Silicon Valley. I'm out.